Hey, what it do with the business is?
It is another week in the books with the On Deck TV show. I am Spike Lou.
Man, holla at your boy Animal Brown, Animal_Brown if you're looking for me on social media.
Absolutely. I am Spike Lou on those same social sites. Holla at your boy. Dog days of summer still out here, man. It's winding down and feeling kind of folly outside. It's almost time for the hoodie episode.
And I can't wait too. I'm ready for the hoodie episode and actual hoodies to put on because I'm cool on t-shirts.
Time, man. The older you get, the less appealing summer is to you, unless you got a big dog vacation planned or something like that.
Yep.
It's just being hot. Like, come on.
No, I'm straight.
Let's get to September and October. The sports is good. It's cracking. Football on. Let's go.
I don't come outside during the summertime until like 7. And that's if I come outside at all.
Absolutely, man. We got an action-packed show for you. The stock market's been up and down if you've been paying attention to it with everything that's going on in the world. So we decided to do a buy or sell episode, man. Some fun stuff that we'll talk about that we buying the trends for in hip-hop, as we always do. On Deck TV show style. Also, DJ Drama said a lot of people did things wrong in the Meek beef. You can't just pin the blame on one person. Verzuz, they beefing with Triller. We're going to get into that. And the first virtual rapper was signed to Capitol. AB and I'll dive into that. But first and foremost, if you've seen the headlines, you know Jay-Z, Kanye West, Diddy, other major hip-hop artists have been forgiven in their PPP loans. Animal Brown, I got a real simple question. When you saw that Puff didn't have to pay back his $2+ million PPP loan and he was forgiven, what'd you think? How did it happen?
I'm confused at how this made news. I'm gonna be honest. I get it. PPP is synonymous with scamming and fraud, and because people have tried to take advantage of the system. We knew that was going to happen. We saw that coming a mile away. The people that you named all own businesses, very large ones, corporations, in fact. They have payroll. They actually really have payroll, which is what the PPP stands for, Paycheck Protection Program.
Yes.
So Puff, Ye, Jay, amongst other celebrities, these are the ones that just came across our radar because they're in our culture, but you can throw Chloe, Jared Kushner, Reese Witherspoon. They all had $1 million PPP loans forgiven. So I understand it. There's a lot of the little guys, quote unquote, out there that also had theirs forgiven too, but that's not what's going to make news. I understand that. So I didn't understand why this was a big deal. People were perturbed at this. I guess it was a slow news day and someone had to be angry at something. So why not be mad at the celebrities?
Yeah, taking the time out to understand what's going on is very beneficial for you, I feel like, in today's times. And what you're saying is true. They run businesses. The PPP loan was given to businesses to keep people employed. I think it was over 300 people that these guys are reporting back that were able to stay working with Yeezy Incorporated, with Revolt TV, with Sean Carter Incorporated. So they put the money to use.
Yep.
Now, here's the difference with the fraud stuff that you see on Instagram, and you see, oh, the local rapper got locked up or whoever it was that you know, and you're like, well, why aren't they being held to the same standards? They are. You have to provide the information in which you took the loan for. So a lot of people took the loan and they wasn't keeping people employed. They was using it for Ponzi schemes or using it incorrectly. When you're getting an influx of free cash, someone like this, Puff, Jay, Kanye, they know what to do with free money. And when I say free money, it means, oh, y'all will give me a loan and I ain't got to pay no interest on it, or I possibly ain't got to pay it back if I put it to good use.
Let me get
Come on with that. It don't matter if Forbes said I was worth 100 million or $1 billion. It don't matter. This is their money. I want to use their money to keep my business afloat. People do it every day. It's the American way. So I think that the thing here, like you're saying, I'm not sure why this picked up so much steam, but it's just like knowing what's going on.
Yeah.
Knowing what, like you said, the PPP was used for. And these guys are stand-up business dudes. Like, regardless of how you feel about Puff, Kanye, or Jay, you know that they run good business because, I mean, look where they are.
Yeah,
like, you may have some problems with some of the business dealings that they've had, but they've been able to put themselves in positions to get these loans and provide the information that they needed to have them and put them to use. This is much stew about nothing.
I,
Nigga
I,
babble, as Tariq would say.
people look at so now that I'm thinking about it, people are looking at this as the rich getting richer. You know what I mean? Or the rich catching a break while the little guy gets audited, while the little guy gets hemmed up in the PPP loan because he took 20,000.
Right.
So I like, to a certain extent, I understand that, but these people are in these positions and they have accountants that make $1 million a year to make sure that when they get this free money, it's all, listen, it's all accounted for. The books look like how the books need to look. It's, bro, don't hate the player, hate the game, bro. Like at the end of the day.
And you bring up a good point, man. That's why processes and procedures are so important in business. Because like you said, Jay-Z could have did the same thing with them 2 million that Joe Blow that was rapping in St. Louis did with them 25,000.
Yep.
However, Jay-Z knows how, like you said, about the people employed by him to make it look, oh, this was attributed to the business. Oh, yeah, that $50,000 car that I bought, yeah, this was for that video. Like, it just made sense from a paperwork, a process, and a procedure standpoint. If you're going to take the money, you got to know how to make it look correct. And
yeah.
like, I have no sympathy if you didn't.
That's just, listen, it's more incentive for you to start a business. Like if you look at this headline and you're pissed off at that, cool. Use that motivation to start a business and take advantage of some of those tax breaks and all of that shit that you know what I'm saying? Because to be honest with you, all of that stuff favors the business owner. Yeah, it doesn't favor the W-2 employee. Like,
that's what America is built on, business owners.
Right. So just like, again, don't hate the player, hate the game, dude. That's
Facts.
it. Man, moving on, man. DJ Drama had a very interesting interview with your mans, Rory and Mal. He spoke about a ton of shit, going in depth on his relationship with Uzi, how they fell apart. He talked big boy shit about going against DJ Khaled in the Verzuz. But one of the things that really stood out was he went a little bit more in depth in the iconic ghostwriter gate between Meek and your man Drake. My question is, he said a lot of people played a role in that situation, some he won't name, and he included himself, Nicki, Meek, and Drake. My question, where do you see the blame at after hearing what he had to say about it?
Listen, man, I'm not a Drake super stan like you are, but you go messing around, sniffing with the boy, you see what happens. I'm blaming all of this on Meek Mill because it doesn't matter what Nicki Minaj came and told him. It don't matter what information that he thought DJ Drama had. All of this, like, this is Drake, bro. So do you honestly think that you're finna go in this booth and point out that he has a ghostwriter and this is gonna make a dent in his career? That was bad judgment by Meek Mill. He still holds the majority of the blame to me because he still had to go in the booth and poke the bear. Like, you still were the one to put and the first diss record,
and lost.
And like, you were the person who took all of this information and you thought you had the heads up. He kind of soft, the light skin. He ain't even from here. He don't even write this shit, man. I'm finna body him. No. Whole career trajectory change, my nigga. And that's, I can't blame on anybody but Meek Mill because, yeah, he may have gotten bad information, but you, as a business, as an entrepreneur, as a person who's in the head of the brand of Meek Mill, decided to go forth with that information with this monster on the other side. And you see what happened, nigga. Monsters are real. They under the bed, they in the closet, and they came out and they ate your ass, nigga. What was the line? We got a whole football team outside. Y'all niggas in the hotel room. Like, come on, bro. It was all Meek. I'm putting all blame on him.
Yeah, I don't know who gassed him up, who put the battery in his back, but obviously it backfired, didn't work as planned. It may have sounded good in theory. In practice, it was a terrible idea. Drama did a lot of he talked a lot, but he did a lot of tap dancing around this too, though, because he said that there are some really, really big name people that are involved in this that you wouldn't believe even if I told you. And he said maybe one day that story will be told, but not today, not from me. And then Rory, your man, went on to give his theory that Hove is the one that put the battery in Meek's back to do that. Having the Roc Nation relationship with him, kind of seeing that Drake was all over the place, taking over, blah, blah, blah. They were trying to shoot the star out of the sky, so to speak, and put a chink in his armor. It didn't work. Obviously, we saw how it played out. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody wanted to hear Quentin Miller versions of any of the songs that the reference tracks. soon as you heard the reference track, you was like, okay, just play Drake version. I don't even want to hear this, dude. Like, but I will say this though. This was the interesting part. Drama seemed, because remember, Drake was asked, has this nigga written anything explicitly for you? And he straight up said, no, Quentin Miller has never written anything for me. He said that. But when Drama was talking, he said, man, yo, you got to give Drake props, because he said, number one, his pen is crazy. And if y'all think dude don't write shit, you've lost your mind. Two, he's a busy guy. Three, you also have to peep his ear when he hears Quentin's version, because let's be honest, Quentin's version is nowhere near how that shit ended up sounding. So I was like, damn, was those compliments? Was those backhanded compliments? Like it sounded a lot like when Sci-Hi explains why he works with Kanye and Travis Scott. He said Kanye running like 7 businesses, dude. He doesn't have time to open up his composition notepad and write a 16 if he doesn't have to. Like it's kind of one of them type of situations. So Drama touched on that. And I thought that was interesting because he didn't all the way say he used them, but he kind of alluded that shit was written for him, which would go against what Drake said when this whole scandal went down.
Two things. There's like a secondary market for that, right? Like everything that you're explaining. If Drake is busy, but I need to put a song out, he'll go down the proper channels and be like, okay, who are the hot songwriters out right now? Let's get them in the studio. I'm going out to LA. Let's have a session, have niggas come through, write to stuff. So I get what Drake's saying. Technically, he didn't write it for me. I was just trying to see what was hot out here. They had something in the pad. They brought it through. I used it, remixed it. Like, I get
semantics.
Yeah, it's semantics. And I don't even blame Drake for saying it. Like, I get it. That makes sense to me. However, go back to the whole part. What a brilliant move by him doing the chess move, in my opinion, though. Because, you get the affiliation with Meek. And if this is true, you get to send Meek out there and take all the arrows and be like, man, I can see how the conversation goes. We sitting here chilling, drinking Douce, big boy cigars, Hove hit him with I know if it was me and this was my generation or era, nigga couldn't get off with the Quentin Millers, because Hove probably got knowledge that this was going down. Probably did give a little to Meek, like, let's see what happened. Let me see if this nigga, if he got what it takes. And then he saw that nigga get squished and he hit up Drake and like, damn, man, young boy tried to come at you, didn't he? Like, I could see Hov playing both parts right there. Because, like, if Meek win, then, we taking out a giant, like you said. And if Meek lose, then, I mean, shit, Drake still, I'm Hov. Nigga, it don't matter to me. Fuck him. So I could definitely see it playing out like that.
I wish one of these days is going to happen, whether it's a 30 for 30 or whatever the case
on this beef specifically.
Yeah, no, where niggas get real about it. Like, this is really what happened. This is who was involved. Like, Drama, you say you take some responsibility. What was how? Speak on your part. Don't speak for nobody else. How do you take responsibility? How does Nicki take responsibility? Like, I need specifics, dude. Like, if you're going to take it there, then go there.
We got to have that episode, our hypothetical 30 for 30s. Hip hop 30 for 30s, because that would definitely be one of them. I agree with you there.
We need it. We need the true story, the true Hollywood story on this shit, bro.
That is a fact. We got some good topics this week, man. Going into the next one, my man Tim, my man Swish, your man Tim's. Let me get that right.
Fair enough.
They're at odds with Triller right now. They said Triller is not paying their bills. They promised Timberland, they promised Swiss a whole lot of money. They made some payments, but they are missing the last few. Triller is saying it's because they haven't hit their deliverables. They're not meeting what they said they would meet. So the two sides are at odds. Animal Brown, what that means is we may get to see Verzuz on another platform. Two things. What do you think about the Triller situation, and where would you like to see the Verzuz platform next, or on what platform next?
Listen, we're going to take the first question first, because if you're a new listener to the show, you know we love business and numbers and when all this shit comes out. So there were some details that came out in this in terms of what was owed, what has and what hasn't been paid, and which is the most intriguing part to us. So the situation is interesting. A lot of people were saying, see, y'all shouldn't have sold out and okay, whatever, that's cool. We thought the move was questionable to begin with, because we were like, damn, Triller, when they had Apple calling, it's like, nigga, y'all didn't want the Apple bag?
Right. Oh, true.
Just right there, nigga. Like, what are y'all talking about? So that actually answers the second question, nigga. Apple. That's the answer. They should have went there to begin with. That check would have cleared. They wouldn't have had no issues with that. Secondly, looking at the numbers, they're suing for $28 million. And part of the deal, and this happens when buyouts happen. But when people see buyouts, they think they just get the check up front. That's usually not how it happens. It usually is delayed, and you get a X amount on between this date, and then you get subsequent amounts of so-and-so dollar figure for the next X amount of days or months or weeks, or however it works out. They were supposed to get 18 million, so 9 apiece by March 17th. It is August the 22nd, and these niggas are so rich that they didn't even notice that they haven't gotten paid 17 million yet from months ago, dude. So that's the biggest part that jumped out to me. This nigga Swiss is living in Iron Man's house, dude. Probably got the paperwork on one side of the house. He lives on the other side, and it probably took him 5 months to get to that motherfucker to review it and be like, damn, March 17th done passed? Oh, hey, Tim, we ain't got the bag yet. Damn, did you get the money yet, bro? Ah, man, hey, we'll sue. We'll get the lawyers, man. They'll take care of that at some point. To be that comfortable, to not miss these 18, 20 M's is insane to me. So that was the biggest thing that jumped out to me. So I was like, what?
Interesting, the small things that jump out, because I too have a similar small outtake from it before we get to the bigger deal. They're also asking Triller to pay for the legal filings and lawyer fees,
and
which
interest.
equal up to and interest, which equal up to over $100,000. So think about it, like what you said. If I do realize that you ain't been paying me money, it costs me $100,000 to go get my said money that you do owe me.
That's nuts.
That's rich folks shit. So that was crazy to me when they were like, nigga, I want my money for even having to get this shit started. Come on with that. Now, with that being said, I think that YouTube would have been a better spot for it because so many people are already there. You get to search and maybe you pick up new fans, maybe not. But even taking it live, I think that they're going to be in talks with Live Nation. As far as maybe doing something with it live there. I think that's a good look. But anywhere but Triller, like you said, I'm not. And it maybe it was because they were handing the equity out. That was a good look. You can get a part of the company. Hopefully this company is going to be big. They got the boxing matches. Jake Paul be over here getting it, running the bag up. So maybe it is a good bet or play on investment. We don't need the money. So let's take a chance. I'm assuming that's why they went with Triller. Like maybe it blows up. Maybe we get something big from it. So I get it. I can't really blame them for it. But now on the revamp, like you're saying, and we doing the pivot. Okay, we tried a small joint. They couldn't pay us. We wasn't getting our checks. Apple, YouTube, one of those, Spotify, like let's go on and run it up and let's do the Verzuz the right that it needs to be done. Because like you said, they were missing checks, but we didn't see no Verzuz either. Like I kind of get what Triller is saying. Like, bro, we gave y'all money. Y'all ain't got no acts. And I'm thinking what may have happened, my theory is like Triller said, we gave y'all the money that y'all asked for. We had an agreement. That was during the pandemic though. And I think maybe the problem that you run into if you Swiss and you Tim is the prices that went up, like Fat Joe said. The prices that we negotiated during the pandemic for artists to come do a Verzuz is a lot cheaper now when everybody outside and I can go get a bag. I don't got to come do Verzuz. Like it's for the culture. Like you said, it's cool. I'll do it because I fuck with y'all and maybe at a discount, but not that much of a discount. And I feel like that could have been the disconnect right there as to, well, prices started going up and Tim and Swift was like, man, we can't even book niggas.
Yeah, because apparently they did make, according to, depending on who you ask, they did make payments to them on the anniversary of the actual signing, but they defaulted on the January payment that they were supposed to make. And then obviously the March 18th or March 17th date has passed and they didn't get them 18 M's. First of all, to think that this all came from two niggas on spotty cell phone services, dude, to think that like we're getting the numbers out now, plus the stocks that they own and nigga, these big dog numbers, bro. Like that's crazy.
You know who hot about this? Do you remember the first nigga that was doing this with Swiss?
Just Blaze?
Just Blaze?
Yeah.
I know he hot about this.
He got to be.
Just Blaze has to be hot about it because him and Swiss was doing this first.
Yep. A couple years ago, about 3 years ago, they did.
Absolutely. I know he hot about that, nigga.
I seen Puff and Jermaine Dupri are doing a hit for hit down here in Atlanta, which doesn't have the same ring to it. Let's be honest. They need to go ahead. But Puff said we're not fucking with Verzuz until Trilla get their shit together. And he didn't mean that against Tim and Swizz. That was really a shot at Trilla.
Trilla. Yeah, you gotta. If I'm, you gotta leave my name out of that though. Like Puff, you gotta like don't say you ain't fucking with Verzuz. Say you ain't fucking with
clear
Trilla.
that up.
My nigga, make sure because Styles P came out and said the same thing.
Yep.
Until they do right by them, then we ain't fucking with Trilla as a whole from the community. And I get that. Like I totally understand it. But however, I would want like do JD and Puff, do they need to bring like Swiss and Tim in on this? Do you kind of like, okay, bro, we kind of playing off what y'all doing. Y'all can sell t-shirts out here in the lobby? Like, how much do they incorporate them in this? Like, or do they just be like, fuck it, nigga, we be Puff and JD. We ain't got to show y'all no love.
Because you remember 3 6 and Bone was going to do their own battle of the beats or whatever they cut. And then Swiss and them say, hey, man, hey, y'all chill out. Chill out, man.
Can't make that call to Puff, though. That's a different call with Puff. Like, you can't just call Puff and be like, chill out. Like, Puff gonna be like, nigga, who you talking? Nigga,
would you go to that
love? Shit? Absolutely.
I would too.
AD and Puff? Absolutely. We put it up to that. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, you gotta show like inspired by Verzuz or something. Like, we gotta like make this happen for the culture. You're like, you can't just X us out because Trilla do bad business. Like, you can't do that.
We'll see how that unfolds, man. Last one before we get to our buy or sell topic. There's a brand new hot rapper in these streets. Yeah. And by in these streets, we're talking these virtual streets. FN Mika is the first virtual rapper to sign to a major record label. Capitol Records. Yes, you heard correctly. Virtual rapper. This is not an actual person in the flesh. It's on some virtual shit. My question, where are we headed with this? Is this in a positive direction or is this just too left field for you?
Way too left field for me. This is, in my opinion, man, this is scary for content creators and rappers and people that may like it. I can, first of all, this reminded me of the chick from, what is it, Vita's World? Yeah. They used to come on BET. This reminded me of that, like a new version, but it raps. Yeah. This is straight virtual. The lyrics came up in AI. They do have a real person that performs the voice for now. Yep. They are working though on a computer program that will do all of the audio plus create the lyrics. So when they get to that point, what we're talking about, like you said, that is fucking nuts. What we're talking about is a straight virtual artist where you're not dealing with anything that a real person would have to put into it. That is fucking crazy to me. That probably would be a, like when you're talking about self-driving cars and they're talking about automation taking over, man, that would be a big hit to the music industry, I feel like. And not in a good way. I'm not saying hit. I mean hit like, damn, all of these people, these young aspiring rappers, like we can just go create one at the label and it's going to play into the algorithms. We ain't got to deal with no personalities. We ain't got to negotiate no contracts. We can create this, like it ain't no 360 deal. Like it's we own it virtually. That's nuts to me. And then did you listen to the song?
I did, yeah.
It sounds like a person. Like how would you, like for people our age, this is like, it's hard to grab my head around.
Yeah, no, he sounded like Tekashi on one of them songs. I was like, the fuck?
He got a song with Gunna.
Yeah, he got a song with Gunna. Yeah, crazy. For sure. That's... Hey, what if he was cold, though? Like, what if he was...
They gonna do that, bro. Like, it's gonna be a nigga that sound like Pac. He's coming, dude. Pause. Like, you're gonna have like a Jay-Z, Biggie merger type thing. Like, it's gonna be nuts. You're gonna have a new Ronald Isley. Like, when they get to the singing bag with it, nigga.
So, all right. There's so much to unwrap with this, but to me, because shout out to my guy Kendall, he sent this to me over the weekend. He said, dude, rap is over as we know it. I said, relax, chill out.
Entertainment, nigga.
This is not the, believe it or not, this is not the first virtual person to be signed to a label. Labels have been investing in AI for a minute now. Warner struck a deal with a K-pop group, the Metaverse Girl Group, And in China, Warner signed an Asian dance label. And signed an Asian dance label called Wet Records, and they have a virtual artist. So this isn't the end of hip hop. This isn't the sky isn't falling in rap. If anything, the sky is falling in the world, nigga, because there will be a moment in time when all of us will have glasses, contacts, a headset, and you're going to go grocery shopping in your house, and it's going to be weird as fuck. Or you're going to go to the club from your couch, or you're going to be doing a pool party or a boat party from your living room. So if anything, nigga, the world is coming to an end as we know it. If you want to say something like that, we're not just going to do hip hop like that. Nigga, it's everything is going to be changed as you know it. Here's the flip side, though. Here's the good thing about it, is that this, with anything else, creates opportunities for other people. So maybe the AI will write some stuff. Maybe they'll have another guy write some shit. Maybe there's a tech component to this, to where if you're in computer science, if you're young in computer science, nigga, you latch on to some shit like this, dude. Or you take this concept and apply it to something else in another field and see where you can get in with that. And you could be a fucking trillionaire. So there's multiple ways to look at it, dude.
A lot of business bitches can come from it. You're right. Just like with computers, people decide that it would be the end of a certain thing, or with TV, it's the end of whatever.
Exactly.
I agree 100%. It's nuts to think about, especially what we know of hip hop and content creation and people that come and do this, to think that it'll be created straight computer generated. However, there's a lot of opportunity there.
They saying it's gonna write its own shit, bro.
That's crazy. You logging in, like listening to something. Have you heard about this? There's, in the same vein, before we move on to our buy or sell episode, there's a website that you can go to. There's two of them, actually. One, you can go and it has people's faces that don't, straight AI generated faces. So you go log on to it, and it's a real picture. It looked like a real person, but the person doesn't exist.
Okay.
So that's one thing that they also doing with this, with the AI.
What the hell is the point of that, though? It's like a social media type? What is that?
It's just like a social, those apps, like it's a social media thing. Like with the app. So like you could go in and just like thousands and thousands of just computer generated faces just look like real. Absolutely. I have to find the name of it. It was on Last Week Tonight, one of their segments. If people watch it, they would know what I'm talking about. Also, they have a thing where you can go and type anything in and it'll create a image for it. So like it's going to be super hard to explain this, but like it would be like a snake with legs, and it could if you thought of something crazy, like the craziest thing that you could think of and type in a phrase, an AI will generate an image, 4 images for it within 30 seconds on his website. It's nuts. Like you just stuff that people type in, and it's just what the computer generates. And how it gets better is every time somebody types something, it corrects itself and it comes up with a better picture. So the more people go on there and type stuff in, the better the pictures get. Crazy ass story, but that's another thing with AI as far as those. If we can find the websites, I'll put them in the show notes. We can put them in the show notes. This shit was crazy.
Y'all get in where y'all fit in with this shit, dude. Do not be a bystander complaining about this shit. Like,
think about looking at a face that doesn't exist. Like a motherfucker, you looking at somebody on YouTube or whatever, maybe like, man, that person don't exist. That's crazy to me.
That's nuts. Hey man, like you said, it's stock season out here in these streets. Most of that shit down right now. Well, you can look at it like it's on sale. However you want to glass half full it if you want to.
If it's down and you ain't down, then you should be in.
Exactly. That's a fact. If you've been listening to the show, man, we every once in a while we'll jump in here and do a stock style episode, but with artists. So hey, this is another one. We got a handful of topics, people, places, things, whatever you want to call it. I'm gonna say if we're buying or selling. We'll kick this one off, man. I'll kick off the first one, dude. Your man's QC's own Lil Baby. Lil Baby being the superstar, the A-lister himself. Are you buying or selling Lil Baby stock right now?
Right now, I'm buying Lil Baby stock, the leader of the new class. I am buying it. And I know the singles have been a slight struggle. I know that, it's coming to the end. of the summer. We didn't really hear a loud impact from him, but the fourth quarter is coming. This is what the big dogs is made. We know that from Michael Jordan and LeBron James and what other big dogs made they helms in the fourth quarter. I feel like Baby will do the same this year. He will continue to grow, continue to exceed what we thought he would be even coming in the game from that Breakfast Club interview. First, when we seen him up there with P and he could barely even talk or speak, wasn't media trained. Now it's a totally different person. He is probably one of the most influential, well, the most influential artist in his age group. I would put him above Dirk and Kodak and all of those guys as far as being the next one up on influence and who people pay attention to. He kind of has like a Jay-Z type lure to him when Jay-Z was that age, like how the other his peers looked up to him. Not now, of course not now. I'm saying not Hove with the funny hair, but a young Hove and how Hove carried himself around those times. I kind of see the same thing and him growing into that same persona within the next year, 6 months, maybe even before then. You buying or selling Lil Baby stock?
I think his stock should be relatively cheap right now. I'm saying relatively simply because he's had a relaxed year. He just put the single out with Drake, with DJ Khaled that nobody likes. I'll probably like it the most, and I think it's average. Then he's thrown a couple singles up against the wall that haven't really stuck. So if anybody, and then we look at the state of Atlanta hip hop, his Gunna, Thug, it's slick quiet right now. So I think the stock is relatively low. And so for that reason, I actually would buy some right now because his album should be on the way, coming soon. I don't really put too much stock in the throwaways. What will turn me off is if the new album comes out and it sounds like the throwaways. Because we've seen people put out throwaways before and the album come out later and be fire. So, and the throwaways were just that. Nigga, let's get these streams up, keep your name out here, and then just hold us over until we put the full project out, which is, again, supposed to be on the way. He hasn't had a full project since 2020's My Turn. He did have the collab project with Dirk in 2021, but that's about it. So I'll buy stock in him, but only if it's at the right price because he's quiet right now. It should be a little cheap for the kid, and I'll get a couple of shares, a little baby stock, because I do believe in him, and I like him as a person. I like him, what he's doing outside of the booth, most importantly. So I'll fuck with that just a little bit though, not a lot.
You thinking Lil Baby stock is cheap is probably the most washed thing that you've ever said on this podcast.
It needs to be
probably that right there, nigga. He's on fire in these streets, nigga. That's AMC. Apple stock.
He AMC Apple right
stock,
now,
my nigga.
No,
what we buying or selling next?
Man, next up, your man's. We teased this a couple of episodes ago. Meek Mill said he is back. God damn it, I am back. I'm finna drop X amount of projects. I'm finna put my career in my own hands. I'm gonna grab the wheel and take myself to where I need to go. Meek Mill, but you buying or selling? Because this is cheap stock right now.
I'm out. If I'm got Meek Mill stock and in my portfolio, it's a fire sale, nigga. Get my girl from industry on the phone, let her do her magic and sell this shit right now. Just because of what we talked about earlier, I have not seen Meek make good enough decisions independently to be out here by himself. Like we just talked about this with Drake and deciding to go all the way in there and how he fell on his face. And then even the response was bad management. I like Meek Mill. I try really, really hard to be a supporter, but he makes it very difficult. With the tweets and some of the shit that he does, I'm not a fan. I don't think that he's an artist that you get out here. Like Jada Kiss explained this perfectly one time when he was talking about the difference between him and Styles P. And he was like, Styles is the type of nigga that will go do the independent shit that doesn't have to do these certain things to sell a record. Like niggas is gonna fuck with him, so it's less stress on him independently. Me, I'm going in the label, I'm laying down bars, and they're gonna give me my check, and I let them figure the rest out because I rap. That's how I feel about Meek Mill, but I don't think that he knows that. He's under the impression that he's a lot more than a rapper. I think being a rapper, focusing on that is going to get him his check, though he's been around people that have told him and sold him on much bigger dreams, and I hope he accomplishes them. I'm selling, though. I'm out.
Listen, that Meek stock is cheap right now, and I listened to some of the snippets that he's been playing. I'm scooping up some of that Meek stock. Let me get some of that. I like the joints that he's playing. They sound good. It's cool to hate Meek Mill right now. I understand it. His last project was supremely mid. he gets on people's nerves. He didn't want to pay the water boys or the kid. He gave the kids $20 to split between 8 of them. I get it. He's aggravating when it comes to that. He does make it hard to root for him. But some of the records that he's been playing lately, them shit sound all right. Like, I'm sorry. Like, I'm strictly speaking about the music. The shit sound good. I'm here for it. He sounds motivated. Maybe an L is what he needed. Maybe he needed people to jump on him to get back hungry and get back in the booth, and he got too comfortable. So hopefully I'm thinking this does him some good. I'm definitely putting some money behind him. Plus, Jay owes him a favor for setting him out against Drake. So he's got that in his back pocket.
Drake not only set him out against Drake, nigga kicked him off the Rock Nation management squad. Nigga, you couldn't even get that done. Nigga, I put you out. You were supposed to be my soldier. Nigga, my Benny Siegel part 2 and take this nigga out. Oh, got this android out here, goddamn it, wrecking shop in the goddamn game.
They owe him one, man.
That's funny as hell. That's funny. I mean, the talent is there for me, Mill, man. It's just for me being out here and dictating the moves of himself. I'm not sure if I'm a big fan of his strategy. I just don't think that. I don't think that I'm a big fan of his strategy. I have to see it. The
music speaks for itself, man. Good music trumps everything. So we'll see. If he got a hit, it's a hit. Then it is what it is. Next up, man. Taking it to New York.
Next up, man, I spoke about a put on we were talking about last week with the Vice episode and drill rap. Yep. They took time out to talk to Fabio and just dig deep into what was going on in drill rap in New York City. Real simple question, A, B. Do you think that drill rap is here to stay? Are you buying or selling that trend?
As the member of this podcast who called this trend a long time ago, several years ago.
You called drill rap.
Facts. Yeah, I said it was going to be big, said it was going to be major. I'm on record. Y'all can scroll through the archives.
Before or after Chief Keef?
Chief Keef. No, New York drill. Nice try. Gotcha. Called it before Pop Smoke blew up with his record. So as being an original drill hip hop.
Called it when Pop Smoke was hot. Let's be honest.
Nope.
Called it when the record that he had that made him Pop Smoke was bubbling.
Yeah, but that didn't indicate that a whole wave was about to come. The Dior is what did it. That's what did it. And I called it before that. But enough of me patting myself on my own back. The listeners already know this. With that being said, I am selling my drill stock. One, because Fabio dropped the project and it was cool. It didn't make the waves that it probably needed to make. And two, there's nobody else that's really waving the flag. You need more than one face of it because Fabio is not strong enough to brunt the pressure of that whole movement on. You can't put that on one person. If Pop Smoke was still here, maybe if another cat came up, maybe if a chick from New York came up and it was 4 or 5 people that you associate that sound with, then it'd be one thing. And that's not to say that anybody else isn't making it. I'm saying they're not popular. That's more regional. So you need 2 or 3 more Fabios in order for this thing to be a thing. And I don't see any of that coming down the pipeline anytime soon. So I'm selling mine. As an OG member, I got in. This might as well be Bitcoin. I got in when it was like $10. And so, nigga, now it's 60,000. I'm out. Cashed out. I'm good.
I'm selling this as well. And I'm selling it not due to, I don't think that it'll pop. I don't think that it'll be a big industry. I just think that there are too many outlying factors. And when I'm speaking outlying factors, I'm talking about the violence. What I did when I watched the Vice video, I saw like young guys that I had never heard of, but they was packing shows in New York. So like you said, it's going to be a regional thing. And I think that starts to grow out. You'll get Philly drill rappers, Delaware, and all up through the East Coast. You'll have people that migrate to that sound because it's not a hard thing to do. It takes talent. It takes the grit behind it too. But as long as niggas is outside like they've been outside with crime rates going up and they wanting to tell their stories about it and it's being as popular on social media, you're going to get that underground trend of it. I don't think it'll ever be big like what you're saying, to your point, like you're getting another Fabio. It's not going to go that far just due to the violence and how the city has paid attention now and so many like regulations. They can't have concerts unless they're approved by the city. A lot of things are going to be detrimental to the growth of it nationally, which is why I would sell, but I don't think that it's going to go anywhere. You're going to have that underground scene like you had the conscious underground rap scene in New York in the 90s when we were growing up, like niggas like Talib Kweli and whoever it may be that was in that lane completely has flipped now for 2020, and it's going to be niggas in the drill rap that are doing that like he was doing what he did.
Yeah, and let's be honest, you mentioned Chicago. That's a perfect example. How long did that wave last?
Yeah, well,
that didn't last forever.
2-3 years. Yeah,
right.
2-3 years.
They had a movement and then it fizzled out. Now, this is a little bit different. The sound is a little more unique. You know it immediately when you hear it. It's got an identity, but the black cloud is hanging over it, bro, with the violence and stuff, man. That scares money away, bro. So yeah, it's not looking good for that. Although I am a fan, and that sound is everywhere. Like it's on every album that comes out has at least one drill song, and then you have to go to Fabio because there's nobody else to go to. We heard it on the Game album. It's, you know what I'm saying? So he's the go-to person for that. And usually when you get that much attention, people get tired of you. And so you kind of get saturated. I'm not mad at him. Get your bag, but that you can see it's coming to an end relatively. It's around the corner. That's gonna come to the end, and I hate it because I think that shit sound fire. I'm gonna be real.
It does not.
Yeah, that's hating.
Buying or selling next. Oh man, what is this even doing here? This is a question strictly for you, Animal Brown, because this guy's on my top 5 roster when we picked our spots for this. Kodak Black and his bounce back. You buying or selling that?
Listen, the price is through the roof right now, and they tell you to buy low and sell high. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna sell this Kodak Black stock and I give it to him. I didn't believe that he had it in him. When he came out of jail, his voice sounded different. His flow wasn't in pocket like it was when he went in. I'm like, are we looking at another Shine? Is this what this is? Is another Shine moment where nigga came out sound like Cookie Monster and never recovered? I thought it was over with. He had a Super Gremlin. That shit was popping. You hear him popping up on the interludes and on the Big Dog feature on Kendrick Project. I just saw him on Puff Son doing this thing. He sounded way better on that song than Puff Son did. So he's officially back, and his stock is through the roof, which is the perfect time for me to cash out. So I don't know how much. I don't know if he got any pending cases. Like I don't know what the hell he got going on. He likes to put his foot in his mouth every 3 or 4 months. So we're due for him to do that again here soon. So for that reason, too much controversy. I'm out. Let me cash out. He made me some good money in this little short term 6-8 months he just had, though. I appreciate it.
That's part of the brand, man. The controversy every 3 months. So like that's what Kodak do. I'm buying stock. I feel like he's gonna only continue to get better and better, especially as he learns how to navigate the media space. I agree with you about the putting his foot in his mouth. He does that a lot. That's become a part of his brand. But as he continues to grow, he's a young man. He still got to learn how to talk and navigate. And as you see him get older with the talent that he has, I think it's going to continue to grow and blow up. People like him. The difference between him and an NBA young boy or Playboy Cardi or the other younger guys in the game is I don't see them interacting with Justin Combs, and I don't see them on Kendrick Lamar album, even though they may be popular amongst their age groups. Kodak crosses over to us. He goes down to the younger age group. He's melodic. Like there are a lot of different ways that he can be able to take his career in different paths. And I think, again, he's here for it. Like he ain't got that. You can tell like where he's from a real place and that what he says is real, like being from Florida, and not saying that he's fake or anything, but he doesn't have that negative connotation, like I said, that an NBA young boy has, or those drill niggas that we talking about from New York, or even the niggas from Jacksonville that had all that shit going on with the beef. Like, even though Kodak, you can tell he's tough and rough and about what he's from, he still come with a more playful, like, this is Kodak. It's cool. And that gets people bought in. They want to know more. They're curious about him. And then he can play with that as far as being media trained. And he's always good with little snappy comebacks, project shit that he's doing. He's only going to continue to hone in and make that better. So I'm definitely buying Kodak stock. He's going to be one of the stars of the new generation.
And the reason people gravitate toward him real quick is it's not all super gangster street shit.
Yeah,
like he has a heart to his music. and to his content.
Facts.
That, you know what I'm saying, that gives it more personality, more depth. So it ain't
like you see him buying his mom houses and shit. Like it's just different. It seems like with what he does and tries to be gangster and how the people take it versus other people that this is too much.
Facts. Last one, man. We saw Kendrick. We just spoke about his album. He finally dropped, long awaited, his last album on TDE. Speaking of TDE, who has been relatively quiet since, are you buying or selling TDE stock without Kendrick?
Relatively, it's a key word there. Oh, you're not even giving them enough credit for how quiet they've been. If it wasn't for a Kendrick Lamar album, like we still, like, other than SZA, I'm not R&B dude. You may, listen to that, but I just ain't nothing, and no disrespect to Reason or any other new signees, no disrespect to Isaiah Rashad. That's really not my bag. I'm here for the four horsemen, dude. The big four, the J-Rock, Kendrick, Schoolboy, and Ab Soul. Yeah. And we ain't heard from them niggas in 4-5 years, it seems like, dude. It seems like them niggas don't even rap no more. So when you're talking about buying stock without Kendrick, and Kendrick was the last nigga to put out an album, and before that, he was the last nigga to put out an album. Like, where are the rest of the niggas from the crew? At least what's going on? At least, like, in today's time, it should be no reason why J-Rock ain't on my Instagram, why he ain't done a podcast. Like, somewhere, at least let niggas know that you still in the game and you guys are still interested. The only time that I see Schoolboy Q, we just seen him on a 2K golf commercial. Right, I see him on the golf course all the time talking about golf stuff because I follow that. But when we talk about music, like, we have no idea what the big four are up to. No, again, disrespect to Reason and the other young niggas coming up behind him, because I look forward to what Reason will be able to do. But I'm scared of what the future holds for TDE. If this is the production that we're gonna get, I'm selling.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm selling too, and it's you need to, who's the star? Like, if you have your favorite basketball team, dude, and you trade away your best player, who your star now? Who you gonna get a ball to when there's 2 minutes left, bro, and you need a bucket? Who are you giving the ball to on TDE right now? Because them niggas is passing it back and forth. Matter of fact, they not even they on PTO right now. Niggas is on the golf course.
They ain't even in the gym.
J-Rock might have dreads or something by now. Like, I don't even know, dude. Like, when the last time you seen that nigga, dude? Like, who knows what anybody is doing? Ab-Soul, he got on shades. He can't even see at the fucking game, dude. So, like, I can't pass it to him. I don't know who I can count on to come through in the clutch. They had old girl that made the freshman class, Doechii, I believe it's pronounced. She dropped a project that I'm not interested in at all. Me personally, it was like a little EP. That's not enough. You need a star. TDE needs a star to fall in their lap, in their email inbox, in their DM somewhere. They need a star.
It's gonna be Punch
to drop out of the sky, dude, because they need one in the worst way, bro.
Punch gonna be the next big A-list person from the label.
Who?
Punch.
That ain't it.
That's what it's gonna be. What it's saying. He's the most notable person.
That ain't it.
Like, he's the most active person in TDE, like, other than SZA to me. Like, I see Punch on Twitter. I see Punch talking to people, calling in the podcast. I see him everywhere, but I don't see nobody else.
It's too much talk about R&B being dead for your flagship artist to be an R&B artist. Like, we just can't do that. You need somebody,
especially if
they need a virtual rapper, nigga. Somebody, dude, that can
they get the virtual Kendrick Lamar.
Dude, get the virtual Kendrick Lamar.
It's hilarious. I got one more before we go on to wins and losses. You buying or selling the Sci-Hi greatest album ever, $1 million for one album? Are you buying or selling it? We hear that before the end of the year.
I'm gonna buy it simply because I just hope we do. And he was on Big Facts podcast describing the concept and describing some of the records he was making. I need it.
Sell sound good.
Hey, he was selling the fuck out. I was like, hey man, I need that tomorrow. Drop that shit immediately. The story of EGOT. The 4-pack was dope. 3 out of 4. You can't. That's not bad. 75%. I'm here for that. I'm interested to hear the full project, especially with the theme that he got. And he's a talented artist, and he proved that he can make music, like good music, from not just bar you up and down, but actually like structure records. And so he said, Ye did about 4 or 5 beats on it. I'm like, nigga, where is it at, dude? Drop that shit.
I hope he don't hold out and it get old. I hope it doesn't age before we hear it.
That'll be some slaw.
Because he waiting on $1 million or something crazy for it. I'm buying it Same reasons that you are, because I want to hear it. He's a talented artist, and I think that we deserve it as hip hop fans. Like Sci don't put out nowhere near as much music as he should be putting out for the type of artist that he is. Sci-Hi's dope. It shouldn't. There's no reason that No Dope on Sundays came out. What was that?
Man, nigga, when Obama was in office, nigga, I don't know. It seems like forever.
It seemed like it's been 5 years ago. I know
pre-pandemic, so that means 10 years ago.
It was before if it was pre-pandemic, you put 2 extra years on top of the 2, so it's 5 years then, technically. But yeah, man, it ain't no sense that we have to go that long between Sci-Hi albums, man. And I feel like we just need that. Like, it's a perfect fourth quarter. Maybe it puts him in the way he wants to be as far as an act on a label. If he drops fourth quarter, makes noise with a great album like that. But I'm looking forward to it.
I'm here for it, man. I do not want him to fall into that one album wonder category. I don't want that. He's too dope for that.
Please don't, man. All right, man. Before we get out of here, that was a dope episode for the topic. Buy or sell, the stock market annual episode. It's a couple more in the feed, man. Go back to the On Deck TV show, check those out. We always get out of here with our wins or a loss. I'm going to shoot it to you, AB, and you tell me if it's a win or a loss. First, win or a loss to 6ix9ine, who was ordered to pay the robbery victims of the 9 Trey gangs over $100,000.
Yeah, that's 100,000 L's.
Yes.
You want to talk about quiet? He quieter than Schoolboy and all of TDE, like
as he should be.
Exactly, like all that shit he was talking. Nobody gave a damn. If a tree falls in the wood and no one's around, bro, it doesn't make a sound. It doesn't. Nobody gives a shit about 6ix9ine anymore. These 100K gonna hurt. He can flodge. He can flex on social media all he want to, nigga. Like it ain't, and it is. Let's be clear, because nigga, that's one less year of security. That shit just came out your pocket, dude. So it's a wrap for dude. That's an L, major L.
Big L, absolutely. Like I don't even like talking about him, as we know on this show. We don't like talking about him, but yeah, big W to the victims that he had to pay that 100,000 to. Hopefully they can get him in court and get some more out of him. And big W to the 9 Trey gangs for him being the one that have to pay after he snitched. So absolutely, big W to them on there. Win or a loss for your man Trap Boy Freddy. I think he Arkansas's own, right?
For sure.
He was arrested on weapons charges, and when the police were raiding Trap Boy Freddy's house, they found an exotic caged tiger at the crib. Is that a win or a loss?
Nigga, that's a supreme L, dude. Yeah, I don't get enough of fucking with these exotic wild animals, bro. Like first of all, Trap Boy Fred know better. He's black. He knows better, bro. We're not fucking around with that shit. I'm not coming near a tiger, bro. I don't give a fuck where I'm at, how cool it looks. I don't want any parts of that, dude. You saw what happened to Siegfried and Roy, nigga. They was best friends with the tiger, and he fucked them up, dude, after a while. You got that, buddy. I'm cool.
You're reading this wrong. This is a big W, because who knew Trap Boy Freddy could afford tigers, dude?
That's a good point.
I had no idea. I'm assuming the tigers are expensive, and no disrespect to Trap Boy Freddy, but we ain't never talked about him before. What better way to get talked about than having a tiger at the crib, man? Like Big Meech, where were you when Big Meech brought the tigers in? Tigers are, they're a conversation piece. But shout out to Trap Boy.
Make your
Freddy,
ass a meal, nigga.
Yeah, I ain't dealing with them at all. If they would be at my home, I would have also someone on staff that is a zoo worker or whatever they call technically, like to take care of all the time. All I'm doing is looking at that motherfucker from a distance. Like you would never catch me in the cage. Ain't no tiger cuddling. Ain't none of that Mike Tyson shit. Like, yeah, you see my tiger over there? No, I don't go in there. Oh, nigga. Last W or L before we get out of here. Fat Joe, your man's, announced that he's doing a one-man variety show. If you're not familiar, Mike Tyson did one of these on Broadway. It's kind of comedy, kind of emotional. A lot of stuff goes into it. My question to you, AB, are you here for that Fat Joe one-man show?
Yeah, Fat Joe is entertaining. I think he can pull this off. Remember, he's got a lot of shit going on, man. The Fat Joe show is supposed to come out on Stars pretty soon. It's supposed to be about his life or whatever the case may be. He got a lot of shit.
The Fat Joe show is a talk show,
but that's gonna be
like a nightly show, like some David Letterman type shit. I thought.
They calling it. That's what I thought. Oh, you're right. It's called the Book of Jose.
Okay.
Yeah, it's come. That's his memoir, and that's gonna draw from that shit.
Gotcha.
It's coming on Stars, and then he got that other shit. He got the Fat Joe show. He got a lot going on, but he's entertaining. I'm here for it. He's a great storyteller. Count me in. That's a dub.
Big W for Fat Joe. You're right. I'm here. Like I could see him. Like Mike Tyson's was really good. If you ain't seen it, people ain't seen that. Check that out. I think it's on HBO.
I heard.
If I'm not mistaken, it was on there, but that one is really good. You don't expect that shit out of Mike Tyson. If Fat Joe is able to emulate that in any way and be as vulnerable as Mike Tyson was, you might be talking about a brand new lane for hip hop artists. I know T.I. may be kicking himself thinking, God damn it, that was what I should have did. Yep. Not the full-fledged comedy, but I can be up here telling the stories. He has like Fat Joe getting a comedian to help him write it. He gonna have Dave Chappelle bring him out, so it's gonna be like storytelling. That shit gonna be fire. And I know T.I. is hot about that, nigga, because that would have been killer. I'll definitely signing up for the King one-man road show tour where he doing the comedy and telling stories. Like I would have been there for that. So
T.I. opened the door for that. You can argue that.
Yeah, he did. He was in Nashville this week. Was you there? You was there, right?
Yeah, I was in the Ville. Yeah.
T.I. was at Zany's.
Get the fuck out of here.
He was. I ain't believe you didn't know that. You gotta tap in when you
dude.
T.I. was definitely at Zany's this past weekend.
Ain't no fucking way.
You hot, you missed that.
Nah, I wouldn't have went to that, bro.
I would have definitely went to that. You ain't here, man. I'm going to T.I. stand-up. Come on.
That may be an experience. You know what?
They said he was funny.
That's okay. I ain't biting.
Yeah, they said he was funny. Funnier than they thought he would be.
Okay, I can see that. That's
Post
fair.
He said he was definitely funnier than he thought he would be.
That's fair. I can see that. He should have kept it that way instead of doing jumping straight to Barclays Center and shit.
Yeah. But that's a fact. Somebody set him up for that though. Somebody said they set him up. One of his comedian friends said he wanted him to experience bombing.
That's fair.
He asked him to that, and because he said it's a part of it.
That's true. Everybody done bomb. Hey man, on Decker of the Week, we're going to YouTube, man. Brand new subscriber, man. We appreciate you guys tapping in. Ty Shelton, welcome to the On Deck TV show. We appreciate you subscribing, tapped in, man. Make sure y'all leave comments next time y'all on there as well. What you got for a put on?
I don't know if I put this on before, but it can't be said enough. Midterm elections are coming up in November. You are able to go to Ballotpedia and take a look at your local ballot. You get to learn what's on there before voting. That's why I'm mentioning it now. You got about 2 months. See who the people are running in your area. See what the things are on the ballot. This is the important one. This is the midterm one. This ain't the one you're supposed to sit out. If you do sit out, well, I do not condone, but this is the one where you tap in for affects the things that are directly around you. This is where you want to participate. So go to Ballotpedia, get familiar with the stuff that's going on in your area, and show up to vote for the midterms, man.
Vote local. Hey, man, I'm going to the movies. Actually, my put on is a movie I went to go see over the weekend. Shout out to that Idris Elba beast. I was fucking with that.
Believe that.
That's
the same thing as like the Pie Tiger where the dude was on the
I've never saw that, but I know what you're talking about. But I think this is a different type. This is a monster movie.
I really thought of that when I saw it, but it was cool.
Yeah, it was cool. It was entertaining. As long as you listen, it's 90 minutes. It's straight to the point.
You can tell what that is.
Have you seen
the asshole if you go in there and say you don't like it because you was expecting, like, what were you expecting?
That's
I know
what I'm
exactly
saying.
What that is. Yeah,
that it's a fun time. It's got some good jump scares. That's it, bro. It's a monster movie, but except the monster is a fucking lion. And have you seen The Ghost in the Darkness? You remember that back like late 90s, early 2000s?
I remember it, but I haven't seen it.
Yeah, it's like that with Idris Elba, man. So Idris Elba versus a lion. Again, we're not gonna overthink things. It's a good time in the movie theater, man. I thought it was fun.
I ain't seen a movie in so long.
You bullshit.
I think it was Spider-Man, the last movie I saw.
You ain't see Top Gun?
Nah. I need to go see that. It's out of the movies too. I'm hot about that.
That motherfucker was tough.
Might still be at the movies. The last movie that I tried to watch, I wasn't even home. I tried to watch The Northman with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
That was worse than Ghost Ship. That was the worst movie I've ever seen in my life. They talking like weird, even weirder than like Game of Thrones. It was super slow.
Yeah, that shit look whack. But to be clear though, Ghost Ship is the worst movie of all time though. So it can't be worse.
This was right there with it. I made it 5 minutes. I couldn't even take no more than 5 minutes. We walked out of Ghost Ship though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
we walked out of Jeepers Creepers 2. That was also really bad.
Jeepers Creepers 2 was bad. It wasn't as bad as Ghost Ship. Really, that was the set. It got more leeway than Ghost Ship. Jeepers Creepers 2, now if you watch it, you're like, okay.
Well, now part 1 was tough.
Part 1 was good.
Yeah.
2 wasn't walkout worthy, but we was like in walkout mode, if that makes sense. Like we wasn't trying to stay there for that.
Because we had just seen Kill Bill.
Yeah, we had just seen some good shit.
Yeah.
Sneaking into movies and shit used to be crack.
That's a fact. Long time ago, people. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all tapping in. Shoot us a like, a comment, a share. Shout out the IG On Deck TV show. We appreciate the support, man. We see y'all comment, liking, man. You know, we appreciate it as always. Anything else before we get ghost?
Absolutely not. We appreciate y'all tapping in. It's the On Deck TV show. We out.
Yes, sir.